Hi guys, so I had a bunch of inquiries, oh it's okay mama, about my experience doing an unmedicated natural water birth. So this video is going to talk about my experience doing a water birth at a birthing center. Say a quick prayer real quick, and yeah. So Father, I just thank you so much for every mama or mama to be that will watch this video. I pray that you would cover them and their child. I pray that you would bless their womb. I rebuke any and all thoughts that their child would not come to earthside, that they would be born stillborn or miscarry, or that their mama would not make it through childbirth. Father, I thank you that you are covering and protecting that mama and her baby, that they would be carried safely throughout pregnancy and birth. And that both of them would be able to enjoy each other and grow together in their days to come. So Father, I just pray that you would bring so much peace to the hearts that need it, bring rest to the bodies that need it, and fill those hearts with love who need it. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. So I knew years ago that I wanted to do a water birth. So when I found out I was pregnant, I began looking for a birthing center. The birthing center that I gave birth at is here in Houston, Texas, and it's called Yellow Rose Midwifery Birth Center. I probably said that wrong, but it is called Yellow Rose Birth Center. I think it's Midwifery Group. But yeah, I'll tag them below. I think they have an Instagram. I'll tag them. But I had an amazing midwife. Her name is Megan Robinson. The other midwife there is Ashley Kowalski. I think she's awesome too. She helped so much in my birth. But yeah, so I had a doula as well who we met for about every other week or every week throughout my pregnancy from second trimester up to now. And we would do breathing exercises, things called four-part breath breathing, as well as doing like different Pilates exercises on a yoga ball, things to prepare my body for labor, and different labor stretches and things to do when I actually got to that point. So did that through that whole process, and me and my baby did not get to bond while I was pregnant. Like, I honestly would forget that I was pregnant sometimes. I didn't get to like have this whole euphoric experience during my pregnancy. Because I was scared that she wasn't gonna make it. I was scared I was gonna miscarry, or that she'd be stillborn, or that I was gonna die in childbirth. So I was really working through a lot of like negative thoughts, and trying to believe and see that she was going to come and that I was going to have a positive birth experience. And I encourage you, if you're a mom as well, to watch positive birth videos, listen to positive birth stories, listen to things that are going to fill your spirit and heart with good, and allow for you to see yourself having those things. So my birth experience went really amazing textbook wise. I will say that I was convinced that I was going to have a pain-free birth, as I kept watching all these stories and seeing birth classes about teaching pain-free birthing. I probably would take one of them next time around. I didn't do that this time. But I did not have a pain-free birth, probably why I was so upset. But I did have an amazing birth, as everything went quickly. My body literally did everything for me. I had to just focus on staying calm and allowing my body to work through the process the way that it needed to. So on Tuesday, January 18th, my stomach cleaned itself out during my 8 a.m. class. And I mean, like, I was pooping, going back to class, like it was at home, we were remote, going back and pooping. And I'm like, why am I not done yet? Until my body was like cleaned out. And then when I was sitting at the computer after I had finished, I had to throw up. And I had threw up everything that I had drank that morning. And one thing that my doula had me doing about the last 3 weeks, including the week that I gave birth, I was drinking red raspberry leaf tea, which helps induces labor. And I was eating or consuming about 3 to 5 dates a day, which help thin your cervix out. So I was preparing my body for labor. So I contracted on and off that day. And the next day I had an appointment with my OB, and she let me know that I had dilated about 2 centimeters, which you can be 2 centimeters dilated for days or weeks at a time. So I didn't take that as anything that I was going to give birth soon, but I had told her to come that weekend. So, you know, I have an obedient child. She listened to me. But for that entire week, I would wake up about 1 or 2 in the morning and labor for about have contractions for about 2 hours and then go back to sleep. So on Thursday, I did a video, one of those workout videos I was telling you about, and this one was to induce labor and to get the baby's head positioned in the cervix. And I literally, after I finished, I felt her head like get in position and drop into my cervix, and my stomach dropped. On Friday, my stomach dropped, but I still was like, this doesn't mean that I'm going to give birth soon, but I wasn't sure. So I had a whole weekend planned of like just me treating myself, because another doula that I had been talking to like 2 weeks before had told me there's a chemical called oxytocin in us that's released when we do things that make us feel good. And she's like, that helps induce labor. If you want to get your nails done, you want to get a facial, whatever it is you want to do, go do that, and that will help induce labor. So I had a whole weekend planned of stuff. That Friday I went and got my nails done. I had a braid appointment on Saturday to prepare for birth. So I had my mom wash my hair Friday night, and you know, it always feels good when someone washes your hair. She washed and conditioned it for me. I blew it out, and I was just ready for my hair appointment and for this weekend of just being pampered. But she had other plans for me. So at about 3:30 on Saturday, January 22nd, I woke up to a strong contraction, and I contracted for literally probably from about 3 a.m. to about 12:30 by myself. I informed my doula and my midwife that I was having contractions, and I would keep them updated. And they were nothing super consistent. Even that entire day, I would have some that were 10 minutes apart, 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 2 minutes. Like, it would vary, but they were consistently about between 4 to 6 or 7 minutes apart, but nothing like giving me a strong pattern. But I was having them consistently every hour, every other, minute span. And that day I did a lot of the natural pain relieving techniques I had learned. I labored in the shower, in a warm shower with the water hitting my back. I sat in a warm tub and I listened to a lot of guided meditations and affirmations about me having a peaceful birth, about my daughter coming forth. And those videos, I'm going to tag the girl below, I'll write her name down there, helped me so much, because the contractions and the pain can get overwhelming, and it's literally a mental game. Your body knows what to do. Your body will literally birth your baby for you. You have to just be able to stay calm and allow it to do what it needs to do and be relaxed, so it's not creating tension, but your body can flow as it needs to. So I labored in the tub, in the shower, listening to those affirmations, on my yoga ball, doing exercises and practicing my breathing. And at about 12:45, I was going to get back in the shower because I started having strong contractions that were bringing me to my knees. And I got in the shower, my midwife called to check on me. And I'm on the phone with her having a contraction, and I start pushing. And as moment that I finally catch my breath, another one comes and I'm pushing again. So I'm like, Megan, I'm pushing. Let's get to the birthing center now. As I was scared I was going to have her in that shower by myself. So my mom and them are scrambling. They've been chilling all day, relaxing, while I've been up here laboring, trying to bring this baby out. And they're scrambling to get all the bags and stuff in the car. Shout out to Gabby, my cousin, because she helped me that entire week getting my bag, my stroller, everything together that I needed, so when I finally went into labor, I would be prepared. So we're getting everything in the car, and I'm like fast waddling to the car, and I drop down on my sidewalk and I'm pushing. And if you know anything about birth, your body will naturally push the baby out. So at this point, I can't do anything. My body's naturally pushing, and I'm like, I'm gonna have my baby here on this sidewalk. But my water broke, so I was pushing the sack out, thankfully. But I'm in the car now, sitting on towels in a trash bag, gushing water out, and we're rushing to the birthing center. So I finally get there. I labor on my birthing ball for some time, maybe like an hour or two. Just continuing my breathing, and my doula and my midwife are like, okay, let's get in the pool and try laboring in there. And I'm serious. Water birth literally guides your body the way that it needs to. Because, like, when I got in that water, my body just immediately kicked into gear. My contractions went up like 10 times and intensified, and my body was preparing to go into active labor. Just being in the water for about 5 minutes kicked me off. And so my cousin got there just in time. I needed her. So she came by the poolside with me, and I was holding her hands. We were praying together. I was still able to sing through my contractions, pray through them. I'm praying to my baby. My doula is like massaging my hips and my back. I'm having contractions to be able to help relieve the pain. Also keep me from being in pain the next day. So my birthing team is in there working. Both of the midwives are preparing. They're using the Doppler to check the baby's heartbeat every so often. They're asking me how I'm doing, making sure I'm hydrated, making sure I'm drinking water. Like, my birthing team was amazing. And I think that's also why I wanted this experience, because it was more so focused on me. Like, are you hydrated? Are you okay? How can we help you? Like, everyone was so attentive to making sure that I was taken care of, that I was seen, that I was heard, that I felt safe and comfortable, and my baby was safe and comfortable, which was amazing, and which is what I wanted. But I wasn't paying attention to any of that. I can say this now. During that time, I was so blinded by my pain. I was like, I just want this to be over. So, my aunt got there. She had been praying I would not give birth till she got there. And I really didn't. And when she walked in and got down and started praying, I went into active labor. And that was some of the worst pain I ever felt in my life. And I would say being in that water and laboring in that water, it made the process begin to go so quickly, because it was like boom, boom, boom. The contractions began to get stronger and stronger. My breathing techniques helped mitigate the pain in a great way, but the pain was still there. But it was like it helped the pain subside quicker. But it was like I'm still feeling excuse my language, but a shit ton of pain. And it sucks. And I knew that my baby was coming soon, because I started having thoughts where I was like going off on myself. I was like, why would you do this? Why are you always have to make things so hard for yourself? Why didn't you just get an epidural? Why didn't you just get a C-section? Next time I'm going to do epidural. I'm never going to do this again. Like, why are you having a baby by this man? Like, I was going off on myself in my head. And I knew that a lot of moms were saying when they got to that stage where they were like, I need an epidural. Give me an epidural. Why did I do this? That they were close to giving birth. So I knew that she was making her way down. So it was like all of a sudden I started grunting, because like I said, your body knows what to do. So if you're able to breathe through and stay calm for the most part, and my midwife and doula kept checking me when I was doing my breathing of like, relax your face, relax your shoulders, making sure that I was keeping my body relaxed. My baby could come to earthside as easy as possible. So when the pain kicked up, and this is literally some of the worst pain I ever felt in my life, I was hollering, groaning, and grunting. I bit my cousin at one point. Sorry, Gabby. I'm going to tell everybody I did that. But yeah, I bit her. I was squeezing the mess out of her hands, and I was screaming at this little girl to please get out of me. I was yelling at her to please come. And everything was such a blur when I gave birth. I just was blinded by all the pain that I was feeling, that I felt her head finally hit my cervix, and was like her body working through me, and it was the most excruciating experience of my life. Wouldn't like wish that pain on my worst enemy. But when I finally pushed her out, a lot of the moms that I've listened to kept saying, after you give birth, if you do not want to hold your baby, don't. Like, do not feel bad about needing a time to have a break and relax. So after my skin to skin, when I first had her and pushed her out, I gave her to my cousin, and I needed a break. Even when I got into the bed after I given birth, we did some more skin to skin, but I was in and out of sleep. I was so exhausted that my family really, they were happy about having her and holding her, but I didn't, because I needed a break. And I didn't have that whole afterbirth euphoric experience. That didn't come until like days later. I was upset for about a day or two at the pain that I had went through, the whole process. But now, looking back on that whole birthing experience, it went really great. I was safe. My baby was safe. It went quickly. For a first-time birth, went really quickly, really smoothly. And I'm so thankful for her and that she's here. And I pray God will bless you on your birth experience. And yeah, that's my water birth. So